Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Venus and today I'm doing my Old School April TBR. If you are not aware of what Old School April is, it is a month-long readathon, watchathon, activity-a-thon of all things nostalgia. You can literally pick whatever genre you want. There are almost, I think about 45 prompts for the reading portion of it, and then lots of prompts for the watchathon. Plenty of activity prompts. It's just going to be a blast. I've already done an announcement video below. I'm one of the co-hosts this year. Old School April was originated by Kelsey from Slime and Slashers. I will link everyone's announcement videos down below. Kelsey also has some recommendation videos as well as a very detailed announcement video going over exactly what Old School April is. But today I'm talking about my TBR. Now, because there's so many prompts, I was really having a hard time narrowing down my TBR for April. I have so many books that I want to read. There's so many host recommendations as well. And it was too much. So I'm doing something that I don't actually like doing, but I think it's going to work for this. I'm going to pick prompts out of a jar and then check my shelves, Kindle, or the library for books that I've wanted to read that are going to fit these prompts. You can do it the other way around. You can pick your books and find the prompts that they go to, but I decided to challenge myself a little bit this year. First prompt is Nirvana Grunge, read a used or borrowed book. All right, so for this prompt, I'm going to use Trick or Treat by Richie Tankersley Cusack. This is actually a point horror book, so this also covers another prompt, as well as it's set around Halloween. So this is already going to get me a couple points. This was a used book that I found at a library, so very excited. Martha knew there was something evil about the house she was moving into. It was so cold and creepy, and it wasn't just the house that was giving her a weird feeling. Martha was sure someone was following her, watching her every move. Then the practical jokes began. The scarecrow with the carving knife in its head, the fire, and the phone calls. Trick or treat, Martha, you're dead. It was October, but these were no Halloween tricks. Someone would be coming home this year with more than just a bag of treats. And Martha was the prize. Trick or treat. Yeah, this sounds fun. So this is gonna be one of my books for April. Second prompt. VCR, book with old technology on cover or in the story. I think this is going to be one of my Kindle Unlimited books. Let me check. So for this prompt, I am actually going to do an anthology, and it's called That's What I Call Horror, an anthology of 90s horror. And this is it says edited by Chelsea Pumpkins, and it has a bunch of different authors, and the cover is so cool. It's got all kind of nostalgic things on it, cassette tapes, oh my gosh, rentals, VCR rentals, old computer, all kinds of stuff. I'm gonna do an anthology, which I don't normally read, but this is on my TBR, so this is what we're gonna do. Third prompt, Free Willy, animal attack or featuring an animal companion. So this is gonna be easy because I'm actually gonna read Jurassic Park as my host recommendation. So this is gonna dinosaurs are going to be the animal in this prompt. So, and this is I can't remember if I said, but it's a Free Willy prompt. So I'm going to pick Jurassic Park for this one. Prompt number 4. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Match a book to a Mighty Morphin Power Ranger. I have never watched one single episode of the Power Rangers. My brother loved them, which is probably why I refused to watch it. So for this, I know nothing about them other than they are in colors. Each one of them has a different color. So that's what we're gonna go with. Let me see what colors are there. Oh, there's all kinds of colors. Pink, blue, red, black, and yellow. Okay. Let's see which book I went for this. So we're going to go with the pink Mighty Morphin Power Ranger, and I'm going to choose Nelfs by Sydney Williams. This little girl has a bunch of pink on her bed. So that's what I'm coming up with for this prompt. I've been wanting to read this. This is definitely going to be on my Old School April TBR, and I'm sure it also matches a whole bunch of other prompts. I think it's not over 300 pages. It's got old technology on the cover too because of this old TV and the rabbit ears. Saturday morning fun. Heaven was only 4.5, but she knew everything about the Nelf. She watched the Little Green Men on TV, read her Nelf books, and watch the Nelf movies her mommy rented for the VCR. Sometimes Heaven even dreamed about the adorable little creatures. She just loved the Nelfs. Saturday night terror. Then the Nelfs changed. Instead of being cute and lovable, they were ugly and mean. They hurt Heaven and made her cry. Then they started hurting other people too, her mommy and her best friend. Only Heaven could stop the evil little monsters if only she knew how. I know this is Kelsey's, one of her favorite books, so I'm excited. I wanted to try to read this last year, but didn't get to it, so I'm definitely excited to read this one for my pink Power Morphin Rangers, Mighty Morphin Power Ranger prompt. What number am I on? Prompt number 5. Throwback, read a Chris Pike, a Fear Street, or a Point horror book. So my first option already covered this prompt, but there is another book that I wanted to read as well. I wanted to read a Christopher Pike book. So for this one, I'm going to read a Christopher Pike, Monster. She killed them because they were monsters. Mary Blank walked into the party with a loaded shotgun. In the blink of an eye, she blew 2 people away. Goodness. She wanted to kill more, but was stopped by her best friend, Angela Warner, and the police. The next day, when Angela visits Mary at the jail, she asks why she did it. Mary responds, because they were no longer human. Angela thinks she's crazy, at first, until she probes deeper into Mary's claims and discovers a horror so unimaginable that she thinks she is going crazy. She even gets to the point where she wonders if she should have let Mary keep on killing. While there was still time to stop the thing from spreading, the very old thing, the hungry thing. Now, I've read one other Christopher Pike book, The Midnight Club or The Midnight Society, I thought it was going to be amazing, and it was actually depressing and not at all what I thought the description was. So I'm hoping that I like this one. So excited to see if this one lives up to this description. My 6th prompt, X-Files, read a sci-fi or book with science elements. So Jurassic Park will definitely cover this prompt as well because it's sci-fi. But let's see what else I have that will cover this. So for this prompt, I chose Vicious by V.E. Schwab. This is actually going to be a reread for me, and it's one of my favorite sci-fi fantasy books of all time. It's a duology, and I love it. Victor and Eli, they are going to university together, and they're very into the effects of adrenaline and near-death experiences. So they start doing experiments. They feel like if you get to that point where there's a near-death experience and you come back to life, you're brought back to life, you could potentially have some supernatural abilities. And it goes from there. It's got superhero vibes. It is actually dual timelines. It goes back and forth in time, so that's another prompt. This is also over 300 pages. That's another prompt, so this is going to fill multiple points for me, and I loved it. So I know I'm going to have a great time with this one the second time around. I think this is going well so far. All books that I wanted to read anyway. So let's go to prompt number 7. Oh, cool. Tiger Beat, a book that matches a boy band song. Okay, so I think this is going to be my romance pick for it. I think I have a book in mind that might match this. So for this prompt, I wanted to get to this book in March, but I couldn't get to it. It actually comes out, it's an arc that I have. This is perfect. So the song is going to be by New Kids on the Block, Summertime, which came out in 2021. So it's one of their, I guess you could say, newer songs. But the book that I'm going to read is Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. This is one of my favorite romance authors. This is so perfect for this prompt. Like I said, wanted to get to it in March, but was in a little bit of a slump, so I didn't get to it. Justin has a curse, and thanks to a Reddit thread, it's now all over the internet. Every woman he dates goes on to find their soulmate the second they break up. When a woman slides into his DMs with the same problem, they come up with a plan. They'll date each other and break up. Their curses will cancel each other's out, and they'll both go on to find the love of their lives. It's a bonkers idea, and it just might work. Emma hadn't planned that her next assignment as a traveling nurse would be in Minnesota, but she and her best friend agree that dating Justin is too good of an opportunity to pass up, especially when they get to rent an adorable cottage on a private island on Lake Minnetonka. It's supposed to be a quick fling, just for the summer, but when Emma's toxic mother shows up and Justin has to assume guardianship of his 3 siblings, they're suddenly navigating a lot more than they expected, including catching real feelings for each other. What if this time fate has actually brought the perfect pair together? So that's exciting. I'm excited to read that one. Prompt number 8. Let's see. Time Warp. Read a book set in the 80s or 90s, or a book with a nostalgic vibe. There are quite a few of those. Let me see. So for this prompt, I am picking Mallrats by Ivy Tholen. This takes place in 1998 in a mall. How nostalgic is that? I cannot wait to read this. I know this is one of Kelsey's favorites, and it's pretty long. I read this author's book, Tastes Like Candy, and I thought it had really good slasher elements to it. I just really did not like the way that she wrote the teenagers. I'm hoping that that doesn't happen again in this book, but they had great kills in it. It was a great slasher as far as that goes. I just hated all the characters. So hopefully there's some characters in this that I can tolerate. That mall's got a death curse. Oh, it's actually 1999. It's 1999, and there are more people dropping than shopping at the dying Lone Star Mall. While Ginny Todd's parents are off saving the world from Y2K, she is trapped in a small town in Texas, forced to live with her neglectful aunt and uncle and her unstable cousin Michelle. When Ginny stumbles upon a gruesome murder in an abandoned section of the mall, she finds herself wrapped up in a murder mystery over a year in the making. The worst part, as more bodies pile up and the police follow the most likely suspect, Ginny begins to believe Michelle may be behind it all. Between a freakish killer in a baby doll mascot costume, a potential killer in the bedroom next door, and a mall dripping with blood, Ginny only knows one thing: she needs to get the hell out of Texas. This is also over 300 pages, so it covers that prompt, and I think there is a mall prompt. I can't remember, but there's plenty of prompts that this will cover as well to get me lots of points for Purple Parrot. Prompt number 9. Scooby-Doo, a book or story where man is the real monster. This sounds like a thriller or serial killer? Let's see. So for this prompt, I'm going to choose Nobody's Angel by Jack Clark. This is actually set in the 90s as well, I'm pretty sure. Yep, 90s as well. And this one is about a cab driver, and he is doing his thing, picking up people. He witnesses a potential murder, which could be a serial killer that is taking out prostitutes. So this is giving me all of the vibes, nostalgia vibes. Nothing worse than a serial killer who is a man and a monster. So perfect. And again, this covers multiple prompts, and I just bought this, so I'm excited to read it pretty quickly. And the last prompt, number 10, is Britpop, British Invasion, book written by a British author. Oh, cool. Let me try to figure out which book I can put for this one. All right, so I have 2 books by John Mars, who is a British author, and I don't know which one I want to read yet. One of them is a library book. The other one I own. I'm not sure. I've read 2 of his books. I love both of them. I've read The One and The Passengers by him. So I'm gonna pick one of these. These also both cover multiple prompts as well. So they're both over 300 pages. Could be The Man is the Monster as well for these 2. And plenty of other prompts. I'm sure I can look at the list and get points for these 2. I just don't know which one I'm going to read yet. Let me know if you guys have read both of these. Which one should I read out of these 2 John Mars books? These seem to both have like creepy house attic vibes to it as well. So yeah, so it's going to be one of these. I don't know yet, but like I said, help me decide if you've read either one of these books down below. So a couple other books that I want to read that absolutely need to have on this TBR as well, outside of these, is My Sweet Audrina by VC Andrews. That is my host pick for Old School April. I talked about what it was about in my announcement video, so please check that one out. I also want to read Hellhound by Ken Greenhall. This one has a killer animal in it, and I think this was actually written in the year I was born. Yeah, 1977. So I want to get to this one too. Those are prompts that will cover this also, as well as I'm sure it's a paperback from hell too. So excited to read this one. Amy from Amy Noel's Reads, one of her prompts is Bunnicula, which I had planned to read anyway because this is a very nostalgic book for me. I loved this series when I was younger, so I will be reading Bunnicula. Of course, there's Goosebump prompts as well, so I'm definitely going to be reading some Goosebumps books. I think I only read like 2 out of here last year, so there's a bunch in here. Let's see. So I did not read Say Cheese and Die, so that's an option. I didn't read Welcome to Horrorland. I did read Night of the Living Dummy. I didn't really like this one that much. And I read The Haunted Mask. I did like this one. And I read Welcome to Dead House. So I overall enjoyed this one as well. So probably going to read these 2 then. Welcome to Horrorland. I have a shirt with this on it. And Say Cheese and Die. So those are some Goosebump options. And then also I want to read Judy Blume, the Super Fudge series. That was another series when I was younger that I absolutely loved. The first one is something about a 4th grader. What's it called? Yeah, so the first book in that series is Tales of a 4th Grade Nothing. I definitely want to revisit that as well for all the nostalgic vibes. I have quite the list here, and it could change, of course, during the month of April. I'm going to make a separate video for all of the movies and shows that I plan to watch because it's a lot. So I am so excited for Old School April. I plan to have the best time. There's going to be lots of movies to watch, different foods to eat. I was going to buy Eggos, but as soon as they enter my house, my kids eat them up. So I'm going to wait until April to buy the Eggos and Pop-Tarts. And we're just going to have a blast. So if you haven't joined, please make sure you join. All of the links are down below. And if you have started your Old School April TBR, let me know what books you have picked for your TBR. As always, thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I hope you have a fantastic day. I will see you again soon. See ya.